to not support my family. That's all given to me by Islam. I think the problem that we're facing, as was mentioned before, the mix-up between tradition and Islam. Also, we need to raise more awareness on Islam. We need to raise more awareness among women, and many Arab and Muslim women don't know their rights.
Khola Hassan, do you want to answer
that?
that?
Say that men and women are different. They are equal before the law and before God, but they are different. And one of the primary problems that we're experiencing in the West right now is because of this absolute obsession with emancipation of women, get the women out of the homes, because only when women are out of the homes will you eradicate poverty and will you have good standards of living, etc., etc. What is happening is that the decline of the family, the decline of children's upbringing, the social and moral anarchy that's taking place in the West, and that's what I'm worried about, that when you force women out of the homes and say, compete with men, do everything a man is doing, and forget that you're a woman, and one day you're going to be in charge of your children, that's when the problems occur.
Okay,
so
you want to come back on that. Let's come back on that.
Yeah. Why do we have to look towards the Western democracy? Why can't we take the best of both worlds?
Exactly, I agree with you entirely.
Yeah, okay, so that's, why do we always have to keep on referring to the West as showing us democracy, and that they're forcing their democracy on us?
Because
they're
that's
not.
the truth.
No,
they are.
We have the choice. We have the choice.
No, I'm sorry, but you don't know what's happening with the UN right now. Go to the CEDAW website, the Convention for the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. It's been imposed by the UN on the whole world. Every Arab country, every Islamic state has been told.
How can the UN impose things on the world? The UN is made up of all these different countries.
It will withdraw aid. It will impose sanctions if countries do not legislate in favor of CEDAW.
Excuse me, I've followed CEDAW myself. Now, signatories have not, although they have signed to it, they still have some tahaffudat, some restrictions on them. They don't totally agree to all the CEDAW regulations, so that's not factual.
It's
what
not
you
going
said.
to last very long, because every few years the UN checks and says, show us what you have done in the past 5 years to implement CEDAW. And if that's not enough, and again you were saying, why are we looking towards the West? Because the Western model of equality is being forced on the Arab countries. You have to accept that, that's a fact. They're being told that if your women don't practice contraception the way our women do, and don't have birth control, and don't have abortion, and don't go out to work, you will have some kind of sanctions placed.
Do you believe that the Western... Can I just ask this question?
I can make my own decision whether to choose contraceptives or not.
They just said it. Arab politicians are puppets.
No,
in the hands of the Western masters.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't think she accepts your point of view. So let me bring in a couple of other people there. Can we get a microphone there to the third row?
My question is for the team against the motion. You kept emphasizing about the difference between men and women physically. I don't think we're here to discuss that men and women are physically different. We know that. But we want women to have the same chances that men get in the workplace and in education. Lots of women in Middle East, they don't have the chance to complete their education, but they just stay home. And they don't get to reach somewhere important in their career, because men get that chance instead. So I think what we want as women, this generation, my generation, wants to see women equal to men in the workplace and in education. We know we're not the same, we're different.
Sheikh Jihad Brown.
So what you're looking for here is equity, more so than equality, especially full equality. Equality, as we said, is sameness. The young lady mentioned
well, you don't know that she's bought your definition, do you? You're doing the definitions now yourself, but you don't know whether she's bought your definition. Have you? Do you buy this new definition, equity?
Equity is fairness, to have the same opportunities, to have the same, as we said, choices. Women have the choice to participate, but they're not required. Full equality means full sameness, that they will be required to participate in military operations.
No, it doesn't mean same.
As far as your question about women's education in the Middle East, I can't represent the Middle East. But Islam, which I can speak on, looks for women to be fully educated. It looks for women to finish their education. It looks for women to be educated, to be at the highest levels of education. This is something that Islam is looking for. And Muslim women have always perform to the highest degree.
Please let
in
her come back
education.
in. Please let her come back in.
But sir, with all due respect, you and Miss Khola have been living in the West. You don't know what is it like here. I mean, I don't have that problem, but I've seen lots of examples where women, they can't complete their education or they can't go work. They have to work in a place where it's only women.
Or even they're forced by their families to leave school in the middle of high school or junior high school.
I've seen that too. So
right. Especially in other countries such as Jordan and Egypt and so on and so forth. This is a situation, but as I said, this is a phenomenon of the Middle East. This is a phenomenon of Arab culture.
Jihad, Islam is not on trial here. We're not talking against Islam. We're talking...
What is on trial here?
What is on trial is the situation for women in the Middle East that came out from tradition and history and the dictatorships. That's what's on trial.
Okay.
The lack of equality.
Of Islam.
What did she say?
Could I